this video, I am going to explain the zero-shot prompting technique. Prompting technique. It involves asking the chatbot to answer a question or to do a task without giving any examples. In simple words, zero-shot prompting means prompting without examples. Let us see how zero-shot prompting works. In zero-shot prompting, no examples are given. So, the chatbot relies completely on its knowledge and interprets the prompt to generate the output. Now, let us see an example of zero-shot prompting. Here is an example prompt for zero-shot prompting. Here, the prompt asks the chatbot to write a poem about friendship in 4 short lines. If you observe the prompt doesn't include any examples, and hence it is zero-shot prompting. As it is a simple task, the chatbot, even in the absence of examples in the prompt, uses its knowledge and then generates a 4-line crispy poem about friendship. Now, let us see the pros of zero-shot prompting technique. The first advantage is minimal effort, that is, just provide a clear instruction or a question without any examples. The second advantage is accessible for everyone, that is, no technical expertise is needed, as it is not necessary to provide examples in the prompt. The third advantage is broad task range, that is, applicable to various tasks without significant modifications, offering versatility. Now, let us see the cons of zero-shot prompting technique. The first disadvantage is limited performance, that is, may not achieve the same accuracy as few-shot prompting or advanced prompting techniques. The second disadvantage is prompt dependence, that is, relies heavily on carefully crafted prompts for optimal results. This is because the zero-shot prompting does not include examples. To summarize, zero-shot prompting is the simplest prompting technique to use chatbots, but requires careful prompt crafting. Although zero-shot prompting is simple to implement, it may not give optimal results for complex tasks. Zero-shot chain of thought prompting technique. In detail. COT prompting enhances the reasoning abilities of LLMs. The main drawback with COT prompting is the requirement of examples with reasoning chains. This is because generating reasoning chains manually is a laborious and expensive process. Zero-shot COT prompting eliminates the requirement of handcrafted reasoning chains by adding the magical phrase, "Let's think step by step." This magical phrase encourages the LLM to generate its own reasoning chains. Moreover, zero-shot COT prompting is versatile and task agnostic. This is because you need not generate and provide reasoning chains separately for each task. All you have to do is to include the magical phrase, "Let's think step by step," for any task. Now, let us see how zero-shot COT prompting works. Zero-shot COT involves 2 steps, reasoning extraction and answer extraction. In the first step, LLM generates the reasoning steps based on the original prompt and the magic phrase. Instead of providing examples with detailed reasoning steps, zero-shot COT simply adds the magic phrase, "Let's think step by step," to the original prompt. The phrase, "Let's think step by step," does all the magic. The LLM then generates its own reasoning steps based on its understanding of the prompt and then generates the answer. In the second step, the model generates the answer based on the original prompt, magic phrase, and the generated reasoning steps. Now, let us see the pros of zero-shot COT prompting technique. The first advantage is ease of use, that is, no need for examples with reasoning chains, just append the magic phrase, "Let's think step by step." The second advantage is flexibility, that is, similar to the COT prompting, zero-shot COT can be applied to various tasks and domains. The third advantage is enhanced performance, that is, boosts LLM reasoning on diverse tasks. The fourth advantage is increased transparency, that is, makes answers more transparent. Now, let us see the cons of zero-shot COT prompting technique. The first disadvantage is performance might be lower, that is, less effective than COT with examples. The second disadvantage is less control, that is, users have less control over the LLM's internal thought process because of lack of reasoning steps in the prompt. To summarize, zero-shot COT prompting doesn't require examples like COT prompting. Instead, it instructs LLMs to solve the problem step by step, just by including the phrase, "Let's think step by step." Prompting is a prompting technique which involves asking the model to do a task by giving some examples. In simple words, few-shot prompting means prompting with examples. Now, let us see how few-shot prompting works. Provide a few relevant examples within the prompt along with instruction and other elements. The given examples serve as a mini tutorial, helping the chatbot to better understand the task. Moreover, the given examples act as references or samples for the desired output to be generated. By learning from these examples, the chatbot generates the output which resembles the examples in terms of format, style, and content. Now, let us see an example of few-shot prompting. Suppose you want to generate short product descriptions for different items on an e-commerce website. Instead of providing detailed instructions or rules for generating these descriptions, you can use few-shot prompting. Here is an example prompt for few-shot prompting. Here, the prompt asks the chatbot to generate product descriptions in a playful tone. If you observe the prompt includes examples, and hence it is few-shot prompting. If you observe the generated output, the chatbot used the given examples as a reference and then generated the product description similar to the provided examples. So, providing examples eliminates the necessity of providing detailed instructions or rules for generating the output. Here are some of the key points to remember while providing examples. The first one is number of examples, that is, the optimal number of examples can vary depending on the task complexity. Experiment with different numbers to find what works best. The second one is diversity, that is, provide examples that demonstrate the range of language patterns or styles you want the chatbot to apply. The third one is clarity, that is, ensure the examples are clear, concise, and relevant to the task at hand. Now, let us see the pros of few-shot prompting technique. The first one is improved accuracy and control over LLM outputs for specific tasks. The second one is tailors responses to desired style or tone. The third one is can better handle complex tasks compared to zero-shot prompting. Now, let us see the cons of few-shot prompting technique. The first one is requires crafting high-quality examples, which is a laborious and expensive process. The second one is resource-intensive due to increased token usage. The third one is may result in bias or overfitting if the given examples are not diverse. To summarize, few-shot prompting is a prompting technique where you provide a few illustrative examples within the prompt to guide the chatbot towards the desired output. It's like giving the chatbot a quick tutorial before asking it to perform a task.